Right now, I want to welcome the Sheriff of Weld County, Colorado, Sheriff John Cooke, to the program. Sheriff, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Cam. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. Appreciate you joining us on the program. So Governor John Hickenlooper spent some time with you and your fellow sheriffs a couple days ago.
Yes, he did. He
this
came
is really
up to,
interesting.
Yeah, it was. I have to admit, I was impressed that he did come up. I didn't think he would. It's a little difficult to come up to a conference of sheriffs that are suing him in federal court, and I know he's not particularly fond of the sheriffs, so I give him credit for coming up.
Okay. And how much credit do you give him for what he had to say?
Well, that's a totally different matter. I asked him. I'm the one that asked him about why he would not listen to his sheriffs, why he listened to Bloomberg instead of us. That basic thing. And I wasn't doing it to be a jerk or to put him in a spot. I just wanted an answer. I wanted to hear from him why he refused to meet with us. And he could have said, hey, because I hate you guys, or I agree with these gun control bills, so therefore there was no need to talk to you, something like that. And well, then, all right, at least I got an honest answer. Well, after he responded, I think I was more, surprised and shocked about the answers that we received.
Yeah, because Governor Hickenlooper says he didn't know that you and other sheriffs wanted to talk to him until, what he said, a week or 10 days after the vote was taken.
Right, until 10 days after, which, is so surprising to me because, we had 30, 35, 40 sheriffs, whatever it was, down at the Capitol testifying against these bills. So when I got up to testify against one of the bills, all the other sheriffs came up and stood behind me. And when another sheriff got up and talked, same thing. Made quite a bit of news. Justin Smith from Larimer County went to his office and wanted to meet with him to talk about the gun bills. And again, he said no. And so to say he didn't know we wanted to talk to him, at minimum, is a little disingenuous.
Well, yeah. Again, I mean, he said we didn't. Let's get the facts straight. He says I didn't talk to Bloomberg. Well, yeah, he did, and now the governor's spokesman says, "Well, look, Sheriff, the governor puts his foot in the mouth all the time, and what he meant to tell you was that he didn't have a conversation with Bloomberg that swayed him in any way."
Right.
Do you believe that?
Well, and that was so odd too, because I knew that there was a news article out there, or at least I remembered one saying that that the governor talked to Mayor Bloomberg. So when I wanted to know why he would talk with Bloomberg instead of his own sheriffs, and so when he came out and said I'd never talked to Bloomberg, he's a good mayor. I was like, okay, well maybe my memory's faulty, but it didn't take long for those records to get reproduced and back out there. And so now he's changing his story where I'd never met Bloomberg to, like you said, well, I did talk to him, but he didn't influence my vote on anything. Yeah, I'm not so sure that's accurate either. Yeah.
So, Governor said he's sorry for how the gun thing happened. He's sorry they didn't talk to you sheriffs. He's sorry that they didn't research the bills beforehand. And he specifically mentioned the universal background check bill. Right. But he didn't really get into any specifics there. I know at one point another sheriff tried to bring this up again, and his response was, I already apologized. What the bleep do you want from me? Again, said in a sort of joking manner. But, a serious answer, I think, would have been, well, maybe how about this lawsuit we have challenging these gun laws? I mean, if things really, went as poorly as you now admit, and if you're apologizing for how things happened, maybe we work on these laws. Exactly.
Well, and that's kind of what I told a Grand Junction reporter afterwards in one of my reactions. And I said, well, he apologized. I've only met him a couple times. If he says he's sorry, I guess I have to take him at his word. But if he's really sorry, why would he so adamantly defend the Attorney General's office or have the Attorney General's office so vehemently, take us not take us to court, but defend the laws in the federal court? He could have said, "Hey, lay off, or we're not going to represent the state on this, and we'll try and get him thrown out, and we'll start over." But that's not what he did. He blamed it on his staffers because I asked him specifically about the general laws, and he started talking about the backgrounds, he gave his reasons, and I said, well, I disagree with you, Governor, on that, but what about the magazine ban? And his response there to me was, well, we never thought it would get out of the Capitol, out of the House. And so one of my staffers said, well, if it does, then the governor will sign it. And he said, once the staffer says that, you got to sign it. And I'm thinking, no, you don't. Who's the governor? You or the staffer? And but that's why he signed the magazine ban, because the staffer said they would if it ever reached his desk. So just a little bit of lack of leadership on that too. And then, Justin Smith wanted to go back and reiterate the point about him not meeting with us, and that's kind of when he dropped the F-bomb on everybody. It was a little surprising.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, so here, Sheriff, don't you think the people of Colorado need to hear from Governor Hickenlooper on this? I mean, as you say, it's great that he went and he talked to you sheriffs, but there were thousands of gun owners who also didn't get a chance to speak, who also were told by political leadership not to talk to their constituents.
Right.
Does Governor Hickenlooper need to apologize to the people of Colorado?
Yeah, I think he does, and I think he needs to, at least, get the facts straight before he does. But he sort of implied at our meeting that he was sorry because he did a disservice to not only the sheriffs, but to Colorado by signing these gun control bills without having the facts or without having the research done until after he signed them. So he did say it was a disservice. Now, whether or not he would have signed them, I'm sure he would have signed them anyway.
Well, that's I would agree. I have to say, this is pretty big news in Colorado these days. Governor Hickenlooper is trending at the Denver Post. Lynn Bartell's story, Governor Hickenlooper's attempt to charm Colorado sheriffs backfires. I know the governor is out of the state right now, actually out of the country, but it seems to me this is something that the Colorado Press Corps are going to want to ask Governor Hickenlooper about when he gets back.
I would think. I hope they don't treat it as old news when he gets back, because it isn't. He signed two major legislative bills that have an impact on every single Coloradoan, every law-abiding citizen in the state. So I hope they do confront him and talk to him and find out, hey, which one? What is it? Did you have the facts? Didn't you have the facts? Why did you apologize? Why didn't you? Are you going to apologize to the rest of Colorado?
All right. Now, the governor's spokesperson, Eric Brown, says that your colleague, the sheriff of Montezuma County, misquoted Hickenlooper when he wrote that the governor admitted his office didn't research the gun legislation until after it was passed. Your colleague, Sheriff Spruill, says he stands by what he wrote. Do you remember Governor Hickenlooper talking about research or the lack thereof?
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, he didn't say it once, and he didn't say it twice. He said it 3 times from what I remember, because that's what he was saying. It was a disservice, because he told a story about, hey, you got to have the facts, and he, by a friend on a different matter, and he goes, I'm thinking there last night, we don't have the facts on this. So he went to the head of the Department of Public Safety while the bills were being introduced, while there was discussion, and he goes, let's get the facts. And he goes, it's not right. We should have had the facts before we introduced the legislation. And so then we got the facts, but it was after it was all said and done. And so, and that's my word, the said and done. I think he said after it was signed or whatever. But so absolutely, he said that they didn't have the research or the facts by the time it came to his desk and he signed them.
Sheriff, this is an election year, and voters in Colorado have already shown a propensity to get involved and volunteer and really affect political change when it comes to people who've gone after their right to keep and bear arms. It seems to me like a story like this is only going to motivate and energize gun owners in Colorado to get active this election year.
Yeah, I hope so. Unfortunately, a lot of times voters have very short memories. And, I think if they'd have passed those legislative bills this year, no question. But when the sheriffs went down to ask for the repeal or to testify for the repeal of the gun bills, there really weren't that many people that showed up. The year before, we had literally over 1,000 people show up to testify against the bills. When we came to repeal, 25, 30 people maybe. So I'm hoping that this will re-energize, will, stir some emotion in the hearts of people to really get out there and, like you said, affect change when it comes to their Second Amendment rights.
Well, I hope so too, Sheriff. Listen, thanks very much for coming on the program, sir, and hope we'll talk to you again very soon.
Okay,
Sheriff John Cooke joins us from Weld County, Colorado. Absolutely, Sheriff. Thank you again. And listen, this should motivate you. If you are a gun owner in Colorado, this should motivate you. Go to nraila.org, click on the grassroots tab, find your local election volunteer coordinator, find out what you can do to help.